Hello. Welcome back to the full 40. Willie and Trevor here. It is an
Willie
Emmy
didn't lose his voice. He's just upset.
It is an Emmy nominated podcast still. This week we're nominated for yelling at our fucking head coach.
So, the bubble has officially burst, and we are well on the outside, looking far, far in. Coming off of a loss to Georgetown, a last-second win against Providence, we pulled one out against Providence, embarrassed ourselves, and coughed it up against Xavier. Not the week we were looking for. And the January woes continue for Kyle Neptune coach teams. Is there anything positive we want to talk about, Willie, or should we talk anything at all about Xavier and Providence, or should we just unload about Georgetown?
There's so many feelings.
So why don't we do this? I missed the Providence game. I was flying and didn't watch the review. I saw we won, made fun of Kim English, and moved on. But Georgetown and Xavier were pretty similar in that we had a lead, we're leading, and just completely broke down and failed to execute in the final 4-ish minutes of the game, and got away with and came out with losses that definitely should have been wins.
What's more frustrating is it's the deeper pattern of this. And I think Emma Houghton tweeted about this.
Yes.
It's the deeper pattern across all things. We did the same thing versus UConn. We got lucky that Caravan missed both the free throws. And because of how good UConn is, we looked at it a little bit differently. I don't know what's happened, because clearly we executed well versus Butler in the last 5 minutes. And I shouldn't say I don't know what's happened. It's just this team reverting back to normal. That's just what it is. But in the last 5 minutes of the last 4 games, I haven't had a chance to do the math, but I think we've been outscored by at least 25 points in those last 4 minutes. I'm going to shut up at some point.
It's at least 9.
We gave 6 points to Xavier, 9 versus Georgetown. Providence, I guess we won't count. UConn, we were outscored in the last 5 minutes.
I'm gonna pull up Emma's tweet, and just read it.
Once you get that, let me know. But even St. John's, this has been an absolute embarrassment of execution down the stretch, and Georgetown was the cherry on top of the shit sandwich. That's just what it was.
Here we go. In Nova's last 3 losses, they've been tied with 4 minutes left, lost that game by 12. Up 6 with 4 minutes left, lost that game by 6. And up 8 with 2.5 minutes left, and lost that game by 1.
So 25, actually outscored by 25.
It's just, it's crazy how these Kyle Neptune teams stick to the schedule. I was trying to make this meme earlier, but I couldn't find the format I was looking for. But I looked up, I was looking at results in January specifically over his 4 seasons as a head coach. So going back to Fordham too. So I did the last game or the last 2 games in December and then all of January, just because that's normally conference play kicking off. So basically I wanted the start of conference play at Fordham. 2-5 his first year. They ended the season 17-17. It was the best season Fordham had in a long time. Everybody, crowned him the next whatever at Fordham. 22-23 at Villanova, 3-7 from the end of December into January. 23-20. But Justin Moore was hurt. Cam Whitmore was hurt. The team added freshmen, just getting gelled. Can't do anything about that rocky start. Justin Moore came back middle of the month. Whatever. 2023 into 2024, 2-6 in the month of January, and this current season 2024-25, we are 4-4 right now. If you go back to What was it? Creighton or DePaul that we played in December still. Whoever with the last day we played in December.
Well, that was Creighton.
Yeah. 4-4 is his best showing in December ish. December into January to date, and we still have Marquette to get killed by on Friday.
What's so frustrating, well, there's so many things that are so frustrating, is when Chris was on, we were speaking about the tranches and doing whatever. Historically, I don't think we haven't done the work in the first part. So you kind of are like, all right, whatever.
No, there's a deeper pattern to look at there, which I'm happy to go into later, but I'll let you finish.
I want to hear this deeper pattern. But basically, yeah, I just want to say we do the work in the first part, or we did the work this time in the first part. And by the work, it was holding on versus UConn, beating Butler, beating DePaul.
Beating UConn without their best player.
Yeah, also without their best player. And then we have shit the bed. There is no other way to describe the last 4 games, including the Providence game. We have shit the bed, especially during crunch time. We have played 33, 34, 35 minutes of pretty good basketball that honestly, where you should have won or could have won. I was just say should have. St. John's, we could have won, but St. John's earned that win. There's nothing to say about that.
Yeah.
Xavier, I'll even give Xavier earning that win. Providence, frankly, should have beat us. And then Georgetown, we will dive more into this. We'll get into the Georgetown game. Kudos to Georgetown for doing what they needed to do. That was a game we stopped trying to win. Full stop. I don't give a fuck who you send this to or whatever. We stopped trying to win. We stopped playing to win the game. We started to play not to lose, and that's cowardly bullshit mentality. All right, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to let you go.
So, yeah, and there were some other quotes that were popping around. I forget his name, but and Tommy shared these with us in the group chat just about the presser. He's like, okay, you could say defense and rebounding all you want. We actually out-rebounded Georgetown this game. And I thought we were rebounding well, but you give up wide open threes after rebounds and missed shots on your own end. And then defense and rebounding is great, but if your offense shuts off with 4 minutes left in the game, how are you going to win? Georgetown wasn't fouling us. We were in the bonus super early, and they didn't really foul us down the stretch to give us opportunities at the line. And I feel like, it was just carelessness by Brickus. I don't know if, when Eric's hot like he was and he had 29 with 3.5 minutes left, finished the game with 29. It was a mixture of bad passes and, they're doing that thing where Wuga's not out there to be another option, which, we'll get into that. But Brickus and Dixon are playing catch with each other on the wing until there's no time left but to throw up a rushed shot in triple cover. Nobody's moving around them. Longino, you know who the third leading scorer for Villanova was this game?
Eric Longino.
It's funny. You can laugh. It's funny.
Was it Wuga?
No, it wasn't Wuga.
Okay,
it's actually funnier than Wuga because at least you would be able to convince yourself like, oh yeah, Wuga probably got a couple of shots off.
Was it Bocce?
It was Bocce.
No way.
I was gonna guess Chris Arch, but
guess how many points he had?
Well, they kept saying how Jordan there's no way it's 4 at least because Wuga had 3.
4.
Yeah.
Eric had 29. Jordan had 18. Bocce had 4. Poplar made a 3. His first shot of the game, his only shot of the game. Brickus made a 3. He was 1 for 4. And Mosley, Perkins, and Parker each had 2 off the bench on some bad splits. We'll get into Perkins too. Perkins is in a slump of all slumps right now.
I don't understand down the stretch of this Georgetown game what we were doing. Like once again, defense was fine, but defense was actually good or good enough to win. That wasn't the issue. It was offensive execution. The moment to me where I was like, this team is playing to lose was Perkins got a steal, started to push, and you could tell Kyle was telling him to slow it down, and Perkins slowed it down. And this was probably with about 5 minutes left. After that moment, I was like, we're not trying to win this game here. And obviously, okay, maybe you could be like, oh, well, we wanted to slow it down, find a good shot. It was a transition
Didn't find a good
opportunity.
spot.
Yeah. First off, we didn't find a good shot. It was a transition opportunity where there was it was at the point of the game where Georgetown and us had just traded the threes back and forth, which I was already getting pissed off about because we left PV in the corner twice to go dig at the ball in a drive when Eric and Josiah both had their man handled. Whatever. We had missed shots back there were shots missed by both teams. And there was a clear moment, at least in my eyes, of the next basket is going to start to take control. And that next basket came from Georgetown. This happened after Eric missed the 2 free throws, or missed the one, then Josiah had the lane violation, which is frustrating, but like Eric shoots free throws like that.
And I don't know if he didn't get pulled into that lane, but whatever. You can't say, well, if we didn't have our own free throw violation, we win that game. That's stupid.
No, not at all. But it was just this mentality. When I saw Perkins pull it out, it wasn't even like Perkins got to like the timeline, pulled back and recognized, okay, they're actually set. We're going to go back.
Half court, yeah.
He didn't even cross half court. And it was like, he pulled back. And I was like, what are we doing? And then after every single time down that stretch of the game, it became a very clear, like we were trying to burn time off the clock and not finish the game. And then it became, okay, we're going to burn time off the clock. Then we're just going to throw the ball to Eric, and Eric, go figure something out. And Eric is a phenomenal player, but Eric is so much better when you run actual offense for him to create out of. And we didn't do that. And so every Georgetown player was just like, I'm going to stay down on every single thing that he does. I'm not buying a pump fake because Eric's not passing because he does get tunnel vision, which I don't blame. Who else was on the floor to do anything? But
Jordan, he was the only one.
Yeah. He does get tunnel vision when he starts getting into the low post in his bag. He wants to score there. And every Georgetown player was like, I'm just going to stay down. I'm not buying anything. And eventually Eric turns, shoots a fadeaway, which he can hit, but like that's a bad shot. Like objectively, that's just not the best shot that he can get on the floor.
Eric and Brickus had 11 turnovers combined.
This was my thing with the Brickus.
Team average is 10.
Yeah. This is my thing with the Brickus thing. Down the stretch, I think we put him in with maybe about 2.5 left. But he wasn't out there during that time when we really needed to just like put the nail in the coffin. They put him out there, and then he obviously turns the ball over. And,
he was in foul trouble. He had 2 fouls.
Oh yeah, well you can't let the kid with 2 fouls play. Oh my goodness. I'm like, he had 5 turnovers.
Nobody finished with more than 2 fouls.
This team is mismanaged.
Yeah,
that's just what it is. It is mismanaged, and I don't know how you can look at the last 4 games and think we are doing anything to put these players in a position to win basketball games or to finish basketball games, because we're putting them in a position to win. We just can't fucking finish a game to save our lives.
Yeah. I think my only bright spot of the month of January has been Jordan Longino. Taking the St. John's game out, and he's like playing the best basketball of his career, which, good for him. It's like 3.5 years too late, 2.5 years too late. Like, we can open the book and use every overused cliche that you use when you talk about Jordan Longino, but he's playing well. He was making shots. Again, he is not a backup point guard. So when Brickus is out and he's expected to facilitate, and we don't have Wuga, our other guy that isn't a point guard that's supposed to facilitate, it gets so bogged down. It's like, Eric, go please save us, do something. And again, we've been saying this for 3 years. Eric's great at doing that for 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
I think we've kind of seen he can't do it at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like it's been 3 years of data.
No, I know. And that's what, we know what we have right here. Which kind of,
I don't know. Maybe my opinion's wrong here. I
don't think so. I haven't heard it yet, but I don't think so.
I think the job of a coach is to put players in a position that they can use their natural talents to win the games or to advance your team forward. I think Kyle has done a 70% job of that. I'm going to just be very honest. Like, Eric's in a great position to help us win games. But down the stretch, we've seen this time and time again over the last 3 years. Players are not in the right spots. They are not put in the right position. The wrong people are on the floor, or the wrong player execution is called. And we are put in a position that we're not allowing our players to use their talent to win the game. And I understand there may not be the talent of 2015, 2016, 2017. We have paid X million for this roster. Every other team is dealing with this.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about the money thing. It's like
It's really not a
throw
money.
that one out now. Yeah,
it's really not a money thing. It's more of just like the talent's there. There's enough talent on this team to be a tournament team. This isn't a Final Four team, even if everyone plays up to their high. Like this never was that. There's enough talent on the team to be a Final Four team, a tournament team, and it's just we are putting our players in the wrong position to win the game, and we've seen this time and time and time again. And I am beyond frustrated. Sunday was frankly an embarrassing performance. And everything that I saw from the lack of offense, honestly, the defense was fine. Like even down the stretch, the defense was fine. I'm not mad at Mosley for the floater. There's nothing really.
No, Mosley was kind of put on an island there, and that was well designed by Ed Cooley. And you get the freshman who's that hasn't been there yet, and put him there, and he made a tough shot.
You know what? I will give Kyle credit for one thing only down the stretch of that game. I think it was with 40 seconds left when we had that timeout. We called a play. We designed essentially what looked like
the home run. Yeah,
not the home run.
Oh.
The play before that where Eric took the jumper, the contested jumper. The original shot, Eric came off a screen, had an open three like that he should have taken, and then he dribbled and then took that shot. That was the only thing I was like, that was a good play. Eric should have taken that three. Now, granted, we've seen him take that three and miss it a lot of times down the stretch. But like that was well designed. He was open. I thought he should have taken that. He didn't, and then he took a worse shot. I put that one on Eric himself. He should know better. But regardless, there are so many other plays down the stretch or decisions down the stretch.
I was going to say there were no plays down the stretch beyond that one. It was just, get him the ball. This is the play call, the beard scratch. That's get the ball to Eric and try to get out of his way and let him save my job.
We played scared. I don't know how else to describe it. We played scared. We didn't scared.
Yeah,
we played scared. We didn't finish.
I mean. Yeah, you kind of touched on it. We've been seeing this for 3 years, so I'll go into my Kyle Neptune season schedule. Non-conference, and up until like the middle of December, we have it's early. We have a brand new roster that we just bought and paid for, and you got to get these. They only have the summer together. Somebody's hurt. Somebody's it's not a full team yet. You got to let them put the pieces together, but it's a disappointing non-conference with maybe a highlight win here or there. Then you get into December where we beat a team we're probably not supposed to beat, and everybody's like, oh, okay, we're figuring it out. All right, we got this. Somewhere in between the non-con and that win, you finish 4th or 5th in the Big Five. Or, sorry, 5th or 6th in the Big Five. We get a big win to start conference play. Again, probably a team that we shouldn't beat, but because the last non-con win happened, everybody's like, okay, we got momentum. We're here. This team has a chance to make the tournament. Then you get into January where we've discussed the lack of success historically. So you go from feeling pretty good and tricking yourself into thinking that this team has a chance to your bubble popping in January, and then you spend February and March doing just barely enough to get close to maybe being in the conversation, and then end of March you lose like 2 out of the last 4 that you needed to win in order to give yourself a chance beyond sweeping the Big East tournament to get into the NCAA tournament, and then you lose first round in the NIT.
And that's what I wanted to point out to you or bring up is we also know, because this has happened so much, there's going to be a couple of games that we win that in theory will position us to be in position to be back on the bubble. That's what it's going to happen.
We're going to win enough games that Chris is going to be compelled to make a spreadsheet.
And I think I said this last year. I want us to remember this feeling after these last 4 games where frankly, this is the least uninspired Villanova basketball since the the
Oh my
PK
God.
85 debacle. This is like the least this is just the worst stretch. And we have a win in here. And I just maybe I'm being a prisoner of the moment, but guess what? I'm in fucking prison. This moment has me in prison. So I don't care that I'm being a prisoner of the moment. I am literally shackled to this team, and I hate it.
Yeah. All we can say is Brian was right yet again. After UConn, he was like, "This team still stinks." I don't know what you mean. We fell for it. We got hurt again. Won't happen again, we all say, but we'll see you after after we only lose to Marquette by like 5 somehow on Friday. But
also, this is the game that I have to eat a sock on, and I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh no!
I don't want to do that. I'll do it if we win, sure, but I'm not going to be happy even if we win. I'm at the stage. I'm just not going to be happy.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else we want to touch on from Xavier, Providence, or Georgetown before getting to the rest of today?
I don't know, man. This has broken me. No, I think I'm good. I think I don't know. I keep looking at it. St. John's it was a classic fool me twice, whatever. St. John's I let go. Xavier, I was kind of like, okay,
we did that against Xavier twice last year.
Yeah, I was like, that was bad, but I guess I'm gonna forget about it. After the Providence game, I didn't feel any better. To be fair, I was just like, okay, we almost did it again.
The only thing the Providence game did for me was to be able to continue to say that Kim English is winless against Kyle Neptune. So, other than that, I didn't even watch the highlights. It was
after Marquette, we have a week off. I don't know. Maybe something will happen. I don't know. And I don't mean something positive. I just mean maybe the team will be like, see ya.
Maybe something will happen. We'll magically get 9 new players.
Oh my God, Jalen Brunson still has eligibility.
Jalen Brunson has 1 year left, man. Yeah, that's more so what I meant.
They're giving out 5 years now. Come on back.
Jalen Brunson's not walking through that door in February. When's the All-Star break?
We need an All-Star break.
But it's not like he won't be there anyway. Yeah, I mean, I think we can roll the ad and see if we have any awards to give for the last 2 games.
Actually, I have one. So yeah, sure, let's go.
Yeah, I said get on. I'm about to get on.
This season, rep your Villanova Wildcats in style with Homefield Apparel. Whether you're cheering on Villanova at the game or watching from your couch, Homefield's got you covered with the best gear. Their designs mix classic Villanova nostalgia with a modern twist, comfort and style with every piece. Homefield's all about the details, from retro logos to super soft fabrics, so you can look good and feel even better. Plus, they've got something for every Nova fan, whether you're a student, alum, or just a diehard supporter. Head over to homefieldapparel.com and use code NOVAINSIDER to get 15% off your first purchase. That's homefieldapparel.com, code NOVAINSIDER. Homefield Apparel, where Villanova pride meets comfort. Let's go, Cats.
Yeah, I said get on. I'm about to get on.
I don't think there's too much Villanova pride right now, but Homefield's coming out with some nice stuff, so take a look.
Yeah, I don't know how much Villanova pride. I'm literally wearing a Tottenham jersey right now, and I'm also I'm wearing 2 teams that suck. Are going to just disappoint me as Tottenham falls down the table every day.
Limited wardrobe here and on my work trip. So
awards,
awards. I don't know. Wooga probably had a nice dunk, but I think
that was the only thing I had to say.
Yeah, I know we didn't talk about that. Wooga, what happened, my friend?
Yeah, we can talk. Yeah,
pass the ball, Wooga.
Put on the gloves.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I wasn't watching the game yet. I tuned in honestly after
there was some. You saw the replay. There was some talking on the sideline by their bench, and he kind of shoved them. Somebody got in his way, and then he threw. I don't say this lightly, but I think I could have thrown a better punch than that one was. And I know basketball players, like the thing is, like you're never trying to actually hit somebody. You're like, hold me back.
I felt like a half-hearted
Yeah.
like shove slash punch.
Yeah, but because it was a closed fist, I think that's if it was palm and just a shove, I think it's a flagrant. And free throws, but yeah, you get the flagrant too if you have the closed fist. I think that's like an automatic thing, no matter how like weak it is. Plus, he was generally aiming for above the shoulders, so
he should have been ejected. I have no issue with that.
Yeah, we'll never find out why it started, but would be nice.
Everyone's always talking shit. Honestly, like as an aside, players should start slapping each other. I think that's my take. Just like full palm slaps. That'd be like we don't need a punch. Just like someone talks shit to you, you just like straight up slap them. I would like to see that. Let's bring that in back to basketball.
So I think Wooga gets to pass the ball for Georgetown.
Shaq fit man play though.
He gets the man play, maybe for Georgetown too, because I don't really remember any. It wasn't too much.
Yeah. Gets the man play.
I don't know. Jordan made some big threes. Eric, made some ridiculous shots.
Are we talking?
I will say
Georgetown.
Yeah.
I don't know how big they can really be when we.
No, I know. I was going to say. I will say, I know he missed, and this just gets added on to the long list of go ahead and game tying shots that Eric has been tasked with taking over the last 3 years. But that was actually like the best drawn up and best executed of the Neptune era.
I thought it was actually going to go in. I was
like getting ready to be angry that we won the game.
Yeah.
But so that was like an almost. I don't think we have. You laughed when I said awards, but I was just like, all right, it's on the run sheet, and I wasn't really thinking when I put it together because you blow 2 leads and you blow 3 leads and end up with 2 losses. It's like I don't if people deserve awards right now, but
frankly, we should have lost all 4 of these games. Providence didn't execute. UConn didn't execute. Like we should have.
Yeah. Thank you, St. John's, for making sure we lost the game we deserved to lose.
Honestly, St. John's, that's why St. John's is in first place, because they literally like, no, we're just going to beat you. And I appreciate it.
Oh, man. That's a pretty sad sap award segment. Want to get into Marquette a little bit. They just have the Conference Player of the Year on their team and probably a first-round draft pick in Cam Jones. But, other than that, not much of a team.
It's Marquette is their starting 5, and then
4 other guys that can get the job.
4 other guys. But the good thing that I love about Marquette is, and I'm trying to make sure just for one player before I make this comment. All right, that's what I thought. All of Marquette's starting 5 are all Marquette homegrown.
That's cool.
Jones, Mitchell, Ross, Joplin, and Gold all have come up and been developed. I wasn't sure about Ross, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, here's the thing. Marquette really prides itself on saying we don't take transfers, and we would never, ever have a transfer, especially one that was rumored to not be able to read.
He dispelled those rumors.
He did dispel those rumors, but again, Marquette's big for pounding their chest, saying we don't do the transfer portal. We, homegrown, you're, the best player of recent memory from your team is a transfer. So let's not, let's tone it down a little bit here. No, Shock did a really good job recruiting, obviously, and the program that he's built over the last 4 or 5 years is pretty impressive right now.
All homegrown players.
I don't know if there's another team in college basketball that is playing at that high of a level with homegrown starting 5.
Yeah, and the bench is all homegrown. I wanted to check that too. Everyone's that's impressive. Cam Jones is Big East Player of the Year. I don't think there's
multiple triple doubles this season. I think, which just doesn't happen in college.
Maybe a St. John's player could get there, but I don't know who specifically I would give it to from.
That's the thing. St. John's is the parts are better than the individual. The whole is better than the parts. So they don't really have somebody that. And if McNeely didn't get hurt and there's a chance, but they're not going to give it to they're going to give him Freshman of the Year, and they'll give Jones Player of the Year. But Eric had a chance if Villanova could win games in January,
Yeah.
but he would have to be averaging 30 and Villanova winning, I think, to be able to get to Jones on that one.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is Cam's averaging. I thought, okay, that's what I thought. He's averaging 19, 6 assists, basically 7 and 5 rebounds. But he's doing that shooting 30% from three. Like he's not shooting, and he is a career like about 40% 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
39. Just so it's shocking they're beating the brakes off of Seton Hall right
well,
now.
I promise you, he will find a way to get out of that slump, and he'll hit like 5 of 5 against us. I'm sure.
He's 30 of 97 from three. He's going to finish our game like 35 of 102. Like he's going to go 5. Oh, he's 5 of 5.
Yeah.
That's literally what you
said. We have a tendency to let players get to career highs against us as of late, namely Xavier and P and whoever else from Georgetown that destroyed us. But
and then Stevie Mitchell. I mean, Stevie Mitchell's
nightmare fuel.
Growing on my list of players I love, but I absolutely fucking hate. If Stevie Mitchell was on Villanova, I would be talking about him nonstop. He's not, and I hate that. And I hate that he's like how good he is. Just X Factor, whatever, glue guy, but like just that times 10. Love Stevie Mitchell.
Yeah, it's like a souped up sophomore year Josh Hart.
Yeah,
who's again. Everybody who's a fan of his loves him to death. Everybody that plays against him absolutely hates him. Like it's just, I don't know. I think we're in trouble.
I mean, if it was at Marquette, if it was at home, at the end of the day, hope springs eternal, and I'm always going to try and figure out a reason to be hopeful. If it was at Villanova, I'd probably come up with some fakakta-ass way to say that we can be in this game. If we lose by less than 10, I'll be surprised.
A real 10 or a fake 10? Like when we're down like
10.
15 and
any 10.
Make some threes at the end. But I'm not predicting a happy end of game.
And I guess I'll take it back. Not take it back, but like maybe we're gonna see this team come out inspired and pissed off about how the way things have gone. I just don't know. That does not feel like where they're going. They didn't get gypped out of the game. There's nothing that makes me feel like they're going to come out on fire. And maybe they'll prove me wrong, and I would love for them to come out on fire and go ahead, win the game. Whatever. But I don't
win at Marquette for the first time in like 8 years.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get the inspired performance today or whatever it is, Friday.
Can you name a game this season where we've come out with an inspired performance?
Let's see. I mean, I'd say UConn.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only one that I think would like qualify is like Cincinnati. I mean, I guess like Temple, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like somebody that we absolutely thrashed. That. I
mean, DePaul, but like, I guess DePaul because we like just absolutely roundhouse them to begin the game. But like, I will UConn just because like I feel like it was the only time we stepped up to the moment. Like, in a long time. And I honestly like my expectation is going to be like this Marquette game is going to be like UVA, where it was like, what are we doing out here? And like somehow we're just down versus UVA. I feel like it's going to be versus Marquette, but then versus Marquette is not UVA, and Marquette's going to eviscerate us. Yeah,
you know how last year we broke the kill shot chart by going well above and beyond the computer's expectations for how many times you could get kill shotted in a season.
Yep.
We're actually perfectly like non-kill shot for and against this year. Like we're in like the bottom left quadrant, and basically what that means is this team does not go on runs or really get run on. So the key to winning games is consistent scoring, because we are incapable of going on 10-0 runs. So the problem that we've seen the last 4 games is when our consistent scoring shuts off in the last 4 minutes, 5 minutes of the game. Everybody else finds a way to win because we don't have a knockout punch to throw. Even when we have teams on the ropes, Xavier, Providence, Georgetown, UConn, incapable of throwing that final punch to end the game. Like teams of Jay Wright pass and everything would just step on your throat and not give you a chance. That's what St. John's does. That's what UConn the last couple of years does. UConn ends games with 10 minutes left in the first half. Like, it's just not a characteristic of Kyle Neptune teams. And I don't think we stand a chance for the rest of the season and in big time games if we can't start manufacturing some knockout punches at timely moments. It's not a recipe for success right now.
Yeah, and it's also like, I don't know, you don't even need to get kill shotted. Like, if for every 10 points Marquette scores 7 and we score 3 or 4.
Yeah. Paper cut. Like, Georgetown went on a 9-0 run to end the game. Like,
that's the definition of a kill shot that killed us. And I'm so pissed off about that game because it just they were not playing that well.
I know. I know. They had Storber limped in. Epps was questionable. Like, these guys weren't even going to play, and they do, and we shoot ourselves in the foot with 5 minutes into the game. Maybe, I don't know if it was less than that or not. But,
I'm not even really mad at the Wooga stuff because that we were up 1 when he punched them. We went up by 13 later. We were clearly fine. And then we said, what if we didn't score?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Kyle Neptune's challenge is this year. He was like, no, we have to get to 65 points or 5 minutes left, and we have to win with our defense down the stretch. We can't add another point in. Josiah Mosley stepped over the line on purpose, and we can't do it. I don't know. It's the only thing that makes sense to me because none of this else makes any sense to me.
Yeah. He what's the name of the ending, the Elam ending? Kyle Neptune, that's the final score for us at the beginning of the game, and they get to that and they just have to keep the other team away from it for the rest of the game. If we score 72 points with 10 minutes left, you better buckle up because it's all defensive rebounding from here. We're just gonna give you the ball back after we take it away from you, actually.
I want tougher battles, Kyle Neptune.
Yeah. How are you still alive? Yeah. That meme. I don't think we're expecting to feel warm and fuzzy after this Marquette game. There's always a chance. LOL.
I guess so, but oh god.
No, Shaka Smart has Villanova's number. Even if he didn't, it's just the way things went. Maybe they, like you said, maybe they come out with a fire lit, but I don't know if I've ever seen that other than the DePaul game and really bad competition where it was okay, you have to destroy them from the start or this is going to be a long day.
I just the fan base is feeling this.
Yeah, the craziest thing I think after the Georgetown game was I didn't see the need. You read everything, you see the tweets, you get the replies and everything, and it wasn't even anybody in there was no rage anymore. It was just yep, he's done. And he's I didn't see it. Some people, I think
it's the first time I've seen everybody on the same page of this is just, and the athletic department has to know and feel this, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm convincing myself, right?
We will never know that, but yeah, I mean, look, this was the first, and I didn't even there was some stuff. Happy birthday, by the way, Kyle Neptune. Today's his birthday. The replies to that post were tough. And some were absolutely outrageous. Keep it together, guys. It's he coaches a basketball team. But yeah, this was the first time that I think generally everybody's on the same page of just like, dude, everybody's just done. It's not like it's past the point of rage. It's just apathy. And all right, is it
And
is it March yet? No, it's the middle of January.
And this is what pisses me off. I mean, I just like, I don't know if this pisses me off. I think we're at this moment where it's like, it's not like we've bottomed out. Like Georgetown bottomed out under you.
Yeah.
It was like they were winning 4 games a year. We're going to win 16, 17, heck, maybe even 18 games this year. Like, who knows? Like, but like, it's just very clear that this is where we are. Like, that's just what it is. And it's unacceptable. Just everything about there's not.
We want to beat our chest and call ourselves a blue blood, and say that we're a top 10 program all time. Like this, you can't have seasons like this. It's just we've had this conversation so many times. This you're losing.
This podcast is us saying the same thing.
I know. I want to talk about fun stuff.
Or even if we just got awful, then I'm like, all right.
Oh, I know. Then at least we could just, we'd have more bits at least.
Yeah.
Say what you will about Georgetown and DePaul. They produces. There's a trend going around TikTok right now, where the video is like, "Hey, you're so funny," and then the caption is like, "Oh, thanks. This, and this happened to be in middle school, and I was scarred forever." So it's like, hey, Georgetown, DePaul, you guys are funny. It's like, yeah, thanks. We just won our first back-to-back conference game since 2012. Like,
yeah,
it's I think Georgetown beating us yesterday was their first quad 1 win since I have to find I'm gonna butcher the timing, but I think it was like 2018. Like, I don't know.
This is gonna be a bit of hyperbole. But if we're a quad 1 win, just get rid of the Nets.
I know.
Get rid of the quad.
Well, I don't know for sure if we are or not. I just saw
we are.
On account like tweet it saying you can update the graph. We won one yesterday.
Yeah,
so
we are, and that tells me all I need to know about this quad system.
yeah. So anyway, I want to try to end on a brighter note. So Brian, jump in here. Let's do our Wildcat of the week.
All right, you said a brighter note, so you're going to pick a good Wildcat. Mikal Bridges.
No.
Oh, damn.
No. I don't think you'll be able to. Well, it'll become pretty obvious pretty quickly. But this player is a few generations before Mikal Bridges.
Okay. Is that the first hint?
Yeah, sure. Just think much earlier than that. Was a draft pick, but again, this was when the NBA draft was weird. So I don't know how high or low he really is in the grand scheme of things, but was drafted by the Philadelphia Warriors.
Philadelphia Warriors.
Good. Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah, Philadelphia Warriors. It was a long time ago.
Oakland stole all our good teams.
I mean, it's not Paul.
No.
I was like, it's not Paul.
No, it's not Paul. Paul Arizin, no.
Keith Haran.
No. He has an Olympic gold medal as a coach.
George Raveling?
George Raveling.
There we go.
I was going to say he has 2 medals, but the Soviets stole one of them from him.
Was he a coach on that team?
Yeah, he was an assistant for 84 and 88. And 88 was the year of the bad call. And then, that was when they didn't let NBA players play. And
Have you ever watched that in real time? It's almost like it's not like, no way. They're going to let it
So my high school history teacher, my world history teacher freshman year, like stopped class in the middle of a day. Somebody said something and he stopped class and pulled up the last like 3 minutes from that game and showed it to us. And that's when we all learned about the Cold War.
So also
Yeah.
relevant timing with MLK Day yesterday.
No, I know that's
Yeah.
why I picked him.
That
So
makes sense.
yeah, George Raveling, 1960 graduate of Villanova, led Villanova to back-to-back NIT appearances. Also relevant because Villanova was coming off back-to-back, and that was back when the NIT was different. But he, I don't know if it's been surpassed yet, but he was a single game and season rebounding record holder in his time. Yeah, 8th round pick of the 1960 draft to the Philadelphia Warriors. Came back to coach at Villanova. And then moved to Maryland in 1969 to coach, to assist lefty Dreisel. I'm going to get made fun of for that pronunciation.
Yeah, you definitely will.
He was the first African-American coach in the ACC conference, not a head coach, but he was an assistant. 1963, we all know, most Villanova fans, I feel like they've done a really good job of continuing and telling the story of how he was, he ended up working security at the podium for MLK's I Have a Dream speech and ended up walking away with the original copy of the speech with MLK's handwritten notes and edits to it. That was at Villanova for a long time. And I think it's on loan right now at a museum somewhere.
African American Museum.
Yes, makes sense. Became a head coach in 1972 at Washington State. He was the first African American coach in the then Pac-8. Now Pac doesn't exist conference.
Hey, they're coming back, baby.
Coming back. Yeah, well, that's how you know this Wikipedia was last updated because now it's Pac-12. But yeah, made a couple of NCAA tournaments in his time there. It was the first time Washington State made it to the tournament since 1941, which might have been a year that Villanova was also in the Final Four. I can't remember. Like I said, Olympic assistant coach, won a gold medal in 1980. Or I'm sorry, 84. Bronze in 88. Coached at USC in Iowa. And then I remember watching what was the name of the documentary about the pay for play thing with because he got mentioned in that.
Oh, the Soul Man 30 for 30.
Yeah, because of his
killed in that because the dude's like he was my best friend and he got fired from that. It always made me kind of be like, wait a minute, is he not a great guy?
Yeah, Sonny Vaccaro and he were very good friends. He gets mentioned in the what's the Matt Damon movie where they make the Air Jordan? Air. He gets mentioned in that. He's in the 30 for 30 because Sonny Vaccaro, obviously the guy that kind of caused all that with the AAU stuff. But
it was sad in the Sonny Vaccaro 30 for 30 because he was like he was my best friend and he said I ruined amateur basketball and then he took a job at Nike and he does that
he was best man at Sonny's second wedding.
Yeah, you could just tell like he was like hurt by like losing him as a friend and then he's like he said I ruined it but he does what I was doing so it can't be that bad.
Yeah. But yeah, he's worked at Nike, USA Basketball, in the NBA, in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame as of 2013. Yeah, all-time person coach, Villanovan. So I just thought that was appropriate.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Given the timing.
That is a good one. He's also in the Naismith College or the National Collegiate Basketball Hall of Fame. Have you guys been there before?
I have not.
It's in Kansas City.
No, where's that one?
It's in Kansas City. I went before we played, when I went to the Kansas game, we played at Lawrence. And we
you went to that game?
I did go to that game.
My friends Chris and Rob were at that game.
I don't think I know them. But yeah, it's a cool little spot. I was like, it was really cool. Just like you get, an insane amount of college basketball history just thrown at you.
Yeah,
and then they have a basketball court.
Spend days there.
Yeah, I could have been there a lot longer. And there's a basketball court, so I was like, oh, sick. And then I just played basketball there.
Trying to remember else. Yeah, it's a
It's right next to another Hall of Fame in Kansas City. I can't remember what that one is.
How many Hall of Fames can Kansas?
I don't
City
know, but they have.
possibly
There's another one. Now this is going to bother me. What's the other one?
But yeah, take some time, look up his story, because I obviously didn't do an adequate job explaining it. There's so much you can learn about and talk about when it comes to George Raveling. But yeah, I thought that was appropriate.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mikal Bridges, come on.
This was better than Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, I know. Mix her up right now. Heart monitor. Jalen Brunson's going to be an all-star probably again, and Josh Hart might be too.
That's the one I was going to bring up. I was like,
my favorite thing is that I'm sure, or I think I saw something. Josh, I think on their podcast, has talked about how he already has his vacation plan set. So it'd be really funny if everybody voted Josh into the All-Star game and he had to give up his vacation and go do All-Star. And he would 100% be, when it's like the picture of the Marines getting ready to breach and there's just like a clown in the middle.
Yeah.
That would be Josh. Or like the dragon, the two scary dragons and the one with its, goofy one, that's Josh. While he probably deserves the recognition for being the Knicks' most, third best player. He's a clown. I don't know. We love Josh.
The other one I was thinking was it's the Negro League Baseball Museum. That was the
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The Knicks are playing the Nets right now. What a shock! Josh has played 38 minutes. Seems low, actually.
Probably
gotten a lot of rest this game. There's only a minute left, so yeah, he's gotten a lot of rest this game.
A day off.
He's like on one leg hopping around. 38 minutes played. This is a 2-point game with 50 seconds left. So D'Lo's revenge. But yeah, I don't know if we have too much else. Light week coming up. We have Marquette this week, and then
we have
a good amount of time off to mourn that one. So I guess we'll be back on the 27th on Monday to
talk
Marquette.
Yeah, then we have Creighton DePaul that next week. So both are
Creighton game. I will be at the Creighton game.
Okay.
First game of the season. I know I said that last time there was a Wells Fargo game, but my flight got delayed into oblivion. But I will be back in town well before that Saturday and be at that Creighton game.
That's where we're gonna.
Maybe it's my fault. This is the first
say you're
year.
About to.
Maybe it was my fault because I haven't been to games yet this year. We'll see. If we blow Creighton out, if we blow Creighton out, you can blame me.
Quick aside. At what game do we start to be like, hey, maybe we're turning the ship around? What game do we say we win that we're like, oh, do we convince ourselves that we're turning the ship?
I can promise you that I won't until like next November. Whenever the new head coach has his first game.
There's going to be a game.
I think we'll beat St. John's at the Pavilion. People are like, St. John's, they were in first place earlier. Rick Pitino's a legend.
Not me. Or hear me say a good thing about Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
Thrown out. Yeah, that's because it's right before we play. Then Providence, UConn, Marquette. We have like a hard stretch.
Yeah. That'll be it. That's a good call out. All right. Well.
No, I think I'll say that after Mitch Henderson's first game next season. So.
Aren't we playing someplace random? Who are you playing?
Vegas. We're playing BYU and
BYU.
Vegas.
I couldn't remember.
I think to open the season. Yeah. Against
AJ DeBanza. So that'll
BYU fans were hype about that on Twitter.
Yeah, they were really.
BYU fans were like, "Oh yeah, like welcome. You hate to play us. Like we haven't thought about it, man. We don't care about that.
Hate to play us in Vegas. Yeah, because
you have so much larger fish to fry.
Yeah. Is Vegas like the worst place for BYU to play?
I mean,
there's nothing for them there.
Flight standpoint, it's probably cheap to get there.
Oh, I know. I just meant there's like nothing for them there.
Yeah,
but
I guess you're used to that. Like it doesn't. You're not like tempted if you're not doing it.
No, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, all fun, unlike Providence fans. Anyway, Willie, take us out.
I don't know, guys. Well, yeah, you guys know. Whatever. As always, let's go Nova. No, we'll see y'all next week. Yeah, I'm done.